Hey guys, Jammas SC here. Today in this video I'm going to be unpacking all the match sims, all the stats, everything that's happened, and showing you guys a bit of a team update towards the end. As you can see, a lot has changed. So yeah, we'll get into that a bit later, but right now let's get into the stats. So I'm getting the stats from AFL Central on Twitter. Yeah, this guy's been an absolute powerhouse at getting all the stats for the match sims when basically no one else has, not even the AFL, so good on him. I hope he doesn't mind me using his stats. So, yeah, let's get straight into it. So, Port Adelaide, this is against Adelaide, I believe. And starting off, we got Connor Rozee. I'm only going to check through, like, the SuperCoach relevant people, or the people who I think could become SuperCoach relevant. Not really going to be checking, like, the Sam Powell Peppers and the bloody Jackson Meads and just like non-Supercoach relevant players. So yeah, Connor Rozee, 21 disposals. Keep in mind that in these match sims, most of the time they are shortened quarters. So these 21 disposals by Rozee easily could have been like 40 or something in a regular game. Yeah, Rozee was great. Love the look of him. Really considering him as an option, but not quite sold on him yet. There were some times where I thought it was a bit slow, just not quite at his best. But yeah, obviously he had the most AFL fantasy out of anyone on the field, so good on him. Burton, don't really care about him. However, no, Jason Horne-Francis, he was pretty good. He was really good. I think he started the game at full forward. I was watching a bit of it and noticed that he started at full forward, but then worked his way into more midfield minutes. I'm not going to consider picking him. He's at a low price, but until he gets enough midfield minutes to like lock in 20 plus disposals every game, I'm not going to consider him as an option just because he gets too much forward time and it really hits his scoring a little bit. Next up we got Dan Houston. He was pretty good. I'm heavily considering going day cost down to him or something so that I can have some extra cash to upgrade someone or something. But yeah, I really like the look of Houston. Happy with him. Rioli, 14, Mead, Farrell, Butters. Butters had 21 as well with Rozee. 14 handballs, which isn't amazing, but you know what, it's fine. Only the 54 AFL fantasy because of the handballs and all that, but you know what, I don't think he was trying his best. At the end of the day, it was a practice match, a match sim, so obviously the star players aren't going to try their hardest to just go off because they're risking injuries for a bloody match sim. So yeah, really like the look of Butters. Tied Rozee with the most disposals on the ground. Yeah, I think he's still a lock for your team. Next Supercoach relevant player we have is Wines. He had 11 disposals, which is a lot less than what I thought considering the CBAs he was getting. I think he had like one of the most CBAs out of anyone on the ground and only pushed out 11 disposals, so I currently do have him in my team just because of those CBAs, but if he continues like this in his practice matches and I just don't see any improvement from Wines, I might trade him out. Maybe his time has passed, and even if he does get the CBAs, maybe he's just not worth it. So, yeah, Ollie Wines, considering getting rid of him, not quite sure what's happening there, but yeah, it'll do. Who else have we got? So, the Bucks were very interesting. They both did pretty horrible. Soldo was pretty trash. I mean, I definitely saw him more than Jordan Sweet, but yeah, it was pretty trash. Sweet couldn't even get a kick in. 2 disposals for the whole game. Not sure how many hitouts, but it just doesn't look very good. And I've got rid of him. I just think a playing R3 is kind of a fantasy now, unless you get someone like a Conway or I don't know, but I really don't want to pay 180k where I can get a better primo somewhere else in the field just for an R3 so that I can switch him on for Grundy or Gorn or whatever. So yeah, Sweet, I don't really know what's happening with him. Uh, who else have we got? Finn Layson was horrible. Tom Scully. Gee, Tom Scully. That's reminded me of Tom Scully. He used to play for Melbourne, GWS, and Hawthorn. Zerk Thatcher. Why am I discussing Zerk Thatcher? He wasn't that good. Sin. Only the 3 disposals, but I don't think he would have gotten a lot of game time. So I don't really know with Josh Sin. Still maybe a good bench option, but I got no clue. Radical was horrible, and yeah, that's basically it for Port Adelaide. So nothing too mind blowing there, just like what you'd expect, I guess. And then we'll go to Adelaide. So Rory Laird, you are a lock in my team. Yeah, I don't care how old this guy gets. If he can still manage to push out the numbers he's getting, like 26 disposals in basically half a game, like that's superb, Rory Laird. I think, and he was getting all the CBAs, so Laird's just a lock. He's just a maiden midfielder, always going to get the CBAs, not really going to get put anywhere else. Just a great player for Supercoach Rory Laird. Definitely a lock in my team. Phil Thorpe looked really, really good. Played a bit of ruck, played lots of forward. I got to look at his price. If he's below 200k, which I don't think he is, I'll consider him as like maybe a bench option or something. But yeah, nah, not really considering him. Then we have Dawson, 15 disposals. Yeah, 50-50 game, not too bad. I was watching the game and he just looked like he was in cruise control. Didn't really look like he was trying his best. Knew that he didn't really need to, so yeah, I still think Dawson's a lock if you want to have him. No problems with getting him. Rankin got lots of CBAs, looked amazing. Yeah, I'm considering Isaac Rankin, looked really nice. Rochelle, same with him, same story as Rankin, getting a few CBAs considering they were basically small forwards last year. But yeah, lots of centre bounce attendances for them both, considering that they were full pocket last year for most of the year. So yeah, I am considering these two as maybe an option if they keep doing well. But not just yet. I'm not sold on either of them. And if I was to pick one, I'd probably pick Rochelle, just because he's at a cheaper price. And to be honest, for the games he like played a bit in the midfield last year and got a few CBAs, I thought he was more influential than Rankin. Riley O'Brien, don't really need to get him. Got a good rucks already. Keys didn't get a lot of CBAs, but managed to stack up a bit of the ball, so that's whatever. But no one's really considering him. Matt Crouch, 18 disposals, 11 handballs. So I've traded Matt Crouch out of my team because he's just gonna keep being a handball merchant. Like he can rack up 40 disposals and still manage to get like bloody 55 Supercoach. Like he just handballs it way too often. Doesn't convert well to Supercoach. Yeah, I don't think he can hold up a whole year going 105 plus without having these games where he's just handballed basically everything. But I don't know, he still went alright. One of the highest possession getters on the ground, second highest. So you can definitely still get him. I'm considering him. Not one really else to talk about. Hinge did okay. Walker just doing text things. Dan Curtin was very quiet. I might trade him out of my team. Oh, actually, I'm not sure if I even have him. If I do have him, I'll trade him out, but I don't think I do. I think that's maybe on my other account or something. Sam Berry looked pretty bad. I think his time has passed. He's had a big fall from grace, Sam Berry. Not sure what happened there. He used to be a tackling machine. Now he's just stacking it up in the reserves. Or not even stacking it up. No one really else to talk about. I thought Burgess got barely any game time, but when he did, I saw he was making the contest, doing some nice things, but yeah, I don't think he'll really do much else other than get a couple kicks and kick some goals. Braden Cook, I don't even know who that is. Mark Keane, I don't even know who that is, and everyone else basically irrelevant. So Yeah, Adelaide, pretty normal there, nothing groundbreaking. Where's the next game? So this is Essendon v St Kilda. We'll go with Essendon. Now, Essendon were very, very poor. So keep in mind, whoever did good here is probably a very good option considering how shit they did against St Kilda. So we'll start off at the top. Xavier Dersma, 14 disposals. Definitely not considering him. Yeah, I just don't really see a lot in him, Dersma. I know it's short on quarters, and if it was a normal game, he probably would have gotten 20 plus, but just never really saw a lot in Dersma, and he's not really Supercoach relevant, so who cares about him? Merritt, 15 disposals, just he's done enough to warrant his price, considering it's short on quarters, so yeah, whatever. Laverde looked okay, but nothing crazy. Langford, just normal. Sardis looked pretty good, but again, like Crouch, just handballs it way too much. But I mean, he is a mid-pricer, so you can get him. You'll earn a bit of cash. 17 disposals, that's not bad at all. Durham was okay. Got more CBAs, but didn't look crazy good. Perkins was pretty poor. Jade Gresham was okay, but again, nothing crazy. Heppel had 19 disposals, jeez. And I think he's playing a half-back or something, so he's not a bad option, Dyson Heppel, but again, like, listen to myself, what am I saying? Dyson Heppel being a Supercoach option, just like, ignore me, that's just stupid. There's really no point of picking him. Nick Cox did okay. Everyone else was basically... Oh, wait, I haven't even gotten to Nick Martin. 29 touches, that is crazy. In shortened quarters, that's amazing for Nick Martin. He's a lock. Oh, actually, do I have him? No, I do. Yeah, he's a lock in my team, Nick Martin. That is superb from him. Parrish, 22. He looked very good as well. You can get him. I like him. He's a bit of a secret weapon there. A pod option. Did really well in this match. Mason Redmond did okay. And that's basically all the Supercoach relevant people. And so we're going to the Bulldogs. This is the first game only. I think they played Hawthorn. Lob played a lot of ruck, so I wouldn't be surprised if he had a lot of AFL fantasy, but it doesn't say here. But yeah, he looked okay. Didn't look too bad in the ruck, but if he's like more than 300k, then there's really no point in selecting him. And he doesn't even have. Oh well, he's in the forward line, so he would get DPP, but I don't know. No point in selecting Lob. Sanders, oh my god, I cannot explain how much of a lock this guy is. 25 disposals in his first outing. That's a lock. I can't even express how much of a lock this guy is. He's going to win Rising Star. Always loved him. As soon as he started playing like big league footy, I just absolutely loved the look of him. Rolls the socks up, means business. I really like the look of him. Sam Darcy looked really good. He's a great bench option for the forward line. Harvey Gallagher only had 9 touches, but I saw him do some nice things. If he's cheap, you can get him as a bench option. Oscar Baker, and who cares? Nick Caulfield did great. Did like more than enough to warrant his price. I mean, he's 123k, so doesn't really need to warrant his price. He just needs to earn cash, and I think he will, considering he got 18 disposals here in the match sim. So yeah, he looked alright. Definitely a lock. O'Donnell didn't get a touch. Liam Jones looked okay. Liberatore, oh my god, what a game. Short and quarters, and this guy's out here getting 34. He probably would have gotten 45 plus if it was a regular game. Well done, Liberatore. He's a lock in my team. Same with the man under him, James Harms. He did absolutely superb too. Only had the 18 touches, but I think he had like 100 AFL fantasy or something. Just looked really good, James Harms. Who else have we got? McNeil looked really good. I think he kicked like 5 goals. If he's less than 200k, he's a bench option, but I don't know how expensive he is, so skip on him. Johannesson looked okay. He looks like a return to prime. at that half back, but he is very old. He's gonna keep getting injuries, so yeah. Sorry, my mic just disconnected. Don't know why I did that. Think I needed to charge it or something. Yeah, it's basically for the Bulldogs. Johannesson did okay. Caleb Daniel actually did pretty poor. Didn't convert well to fantasy. He turned it over quite a bit. Don't know. Caleb Daniel not a great option in my opinion. Then we got Hawthorn. I don't think anything groundbreaking's happened here, apart from D'Ambrosio. He was absolutely superb. Newcomb looked horrible. I really didn't. Wait, where is he? Here. Newcomb, 7 kicks, 10 apples. He looked average. I really didn't like the look of Newcomb. He's not an option for me. I can't see him doing very well. Sicily, maybe I'll consider getting him back in because he still looked like the general back there. Ethan Phillips did more of the lockdown role, so it looks good. And speaking of Ethan Phillips, only had 5 disposals. Are you serious? I was watching it. I swear he had like at least 10. I think he's got this wrong, AFL Central, because I was watching it and he was getting kick mark after kick mark after kick mark in that back line. So yeah, I don't know. I think he's a lock. He looked very good. Don't look at this stat here because I thought he was fantastic. I think he's a lock at 102k. Ginnivan, whatever. Oh, who was I talking about before? Yeah, D'Ambrosio. Unbelievable. And who's that at 25? Is that Jack Scrimshaw? Jack Scrimshaw had 25 touches. That is very good. Not sure how expensive he is, but he did very well. Maybe we can look into him. Yeah, but D'Ambrosio, the real standard here. If you want to get him as a mid-price in your back line, that's superb. You can get him. Gunston only had 3 touches. G looked old. He looked old, ragged, and just shit. Nothing else really. No one else that really stood out to me. Watson, big trap. Do not fall for him. He looked horrible. Didn't get a lot of the ball. Got a couple of assists in there, but don't know. It just didn't look good from my perspective. So yeah, that's Bulldogs and Hawthorn. Now we got St Kilda. This is back from the Essendon game. Riley Bonner. He is very good. 28 disposals. He looked like a general back there at half back. Absolutely superb, Riley Bonner. Yeah, I'm definitely considering him as a mid-pricer. He's in the midfield though. That's the only thing. And if you don't really need anything else in the midfield. Like this is your basic setup. Your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 primos and McKercher and Sanders, which are both locks. I don't think you really need Bonner unless he's going to go absolutely nuts, which I don't think he will. I think he could average like 90 or something, but don't think he could go nuts. But yeah, it's a great story for Riley Bonner. Delisted from Port Adelaide, I think. He's come at St Kilda, and if he does well this year, it will be a very good story. He looks very good. You could definitely consider him if you don't have someone like a Wines or shit here at M6. Um, then who have we got? Jack Steele. He's a big lock. He looked superb. I love Jack Steele. Looked really good. Fresh fade. Just a lock. Rowan Marshall looked good. You can get him if you want. Yeah, he should be entering the prime of his career now, but I mean, Gordon and Grundy are pretty unbeatable. Unless one of them gets injured, you can get Rowan Marshall. Uh, Mason Wood looked okay, but again, he's on the wing, so not really Supercoach relevant. Nazar Wangani Malira looked great. You can definitely consider him as a draft option or something. He's very cheap and barely anyone owns him, so he could be a nice cheap primo there in the back line. Nothing else that really stood out. Sorry if I'm getting some things wrong here because like I've been sick the whole week, like absolutely sick. So if I am getting some things wrong when I'm speaking or just sounding really slurred, it's because I've been sick all week, so excuse me for that. Where's the next thing? Is that it? That could be it. Oh no, Graham Myers versus Carl. Oh, he's not really SuperCoach relevant, but maybe a draft option if you absolutely need to and everyone else is taken. Holmes. Oh, Holmes, actually. I forgot that Holmes even existed. He looked good against Carlton. I'm a Carlton supporter. I was watching this one. I was pretty pissed off because we lost, but again, it's a match sim, means absolutely nothing. And Geelong did have a full strength team. We had basically a VFL side. Chera looked really good. You can definitely get him if you want. I love the man. He's very good. He's entering the prime of his career now. Was superb last year and could be a great pot option this year. We got Brisbane v Gold Coast, I think now. So let's get straight into this. We got Loman had nothing, or his stats weren't counted, so nothing there. Dunkley 16. It's alright. He's done enough to warrant his price, I guess. Just like it's fine. It's whatever from Dunkley. McCluggage 12. Wouldn't look into him. I think he's a big trap. Lots of people considering him, but I think he's a bit of a trap. I don't like him. Dane Zorko looked really good, but he's a bit old, so I'm not completely considering him. Rayner looked okay, but again, it's a matter of if he gets a good role or not. Lyons looked good. Jared Lyons looked really good, and we've seen the Supercoach scoring in him before, averaged 116 in 2021, so if he can return to his prime, could be a really, really good option. Coleman looks superb. I'm heavily considering him, but again, he has the round 2 bye, so you can just wait after that and then pick him up. And yeah, then after that, no one else really impressed. Tunstall did alright. Zach Bailey looked good, so if he keeps, and he was getting a few CBAs, so if he keeps getting CBAs and doing good in the midfield, he could be an option in that shit forward line. So yeah, that's basically it for Brisbane. Don't think Gold Coast stats were counted. If they were, they're further down. This is more Carlton stats. Nick Newman looked great. You could definitely consider him. He's one of those players that I think is going to enter his prime in his old age. Like, he's never really had a prime Nick Newman. He's always been that just defensive player that's done good but never really exploded as a player. But now he's starting to explode in his older years. Playing some consistent football, getting the game time. So I think Newman is starting to enter his prime as an old fella. So yeah, you could consider him at 550k. But again, the bias, so I wouldn't go anywhere near him until it's over. Cripps looked really good against Geelong. I don't know the 19 disposals, but felt like he had more. Looked really influential. Could be an interesting pot option after his bye. Hollands looked really good. Looked amazing. Both the Hollands brothers. That's basically it there. There's Coleman again. Just did amazing. And here's Buderick, who did really good. And 19 disposals, 15 effective, and 6 marks. That is enough for me to put him in my team. And he had a great role, taking kickouts, doing good there, the halfback. I think he's a lock in my team. Humphrey, gee, he looked poor. Maybe he wasn't getting the CBAs, maybe he was playing full pocket or something, but yeah, either way, just a very poor night. Flanders, I can't express how much of a lock this guy is. Did have the 61 fantasy though, didn't really convert his disposals to fantasy, so don't know, but should be fine. And then yeah, that's about. Oh, Rao's first half against Brisbane was pretty good. I really like Rao as an option. You could pick him. He's a nice pod. I spoke about him in the pods video. Harvey Thomas could be a good rookie option in the forward line. Whitfield did really good against Sydney. He could be an option. Canelio did really good. He's just always going to be a consistent scorer, I reckon, until he retires, Canelio. So you can consider him as maybe a placeholder for Walsh or something. Connor Iden looked really good. He's going to start to enter his prime now. He's going to be like the next Isaac Quain, or really like Connor Iden. Ware looked really good as a rookie. You can definitely get him on your bench. And top disposals for Sydney. Let's have a look at this. We have Chad Warner, Nick Blakey, Justin McInerney, Errol Gordon, Tom Papley. Yeah, wow, that's actually very interesting. Everyone for Sydney seems to have done alright. James Jordan with 18, that's okay. You can get him if you like. Apparently he had some inside mid-time too, so that's good. Grundy was superb. He's definitely a lock. Lloyd was okay. Warner was superb. Yeah, I think that's basically all we're going to go through for these practice matches. I know there's still like the North Melbourne Collingwood one and the Richmond Melbourne ones, but they were both pretty like normal games. There was nothing crazy. Here's some notes for the Collingwood North Melbourne match, so we'll have a look at this. Oh yeah, Sheasel 42 disposals. If he gets the half-back roll and stays there, he's 100% a lock, but I'm not sure if he will or if he won't. So, don't really know there, but if he does, I mean, look at this. 42 disposals, 90% efficiency. This could have been like 200 Supercoach. Absolutely superb, Sheasel. McKercher, lock. Davies Uniacke did enough. Tom Powell did really good. You can consider him. Sherry did really good. If you're not going to go Gawn and Grundy, you're going to go Gawn and Sherry or Grundy and Sherry. Wardlaw did okay. Stevens did okay. Fisher only played first half and got 18 disposals. Looked absolutely superb. I'll have him in my team. If he could go without injuries, he's going to be an absolute force to be reckoned with in that North back line. So I've got him. Dacos looked in cruise control. Didn't really do anything crazy. DeGoey did good. Noble did okay. Finlay McRae did good. You can get him if you want. Reece McInnes. Yeah, it's basically all I'm going to go through now, I think, because this video's gone on for quite a while. Yeah, that's basically it. But the standouts, Sheasel, Laird, Fisher, and Buderick for me were and Steele. They were, and Martin. We'll start again. Laird, Steele, Martin, Buderick, Fisher, and Libba, I thought, were the main standouts in their practice match, and Sheasel. I mean, they all did really good considering it was shortened quarters. They looked amazing. And, yeah, just these match sims are good because it gives us a little bit of proof and evidence that the players we're thinking about picking are actually half decent rather than just taking a shot in the dark without looking at any stats or anything. So, yeah, they're good, the match sims, to see who's looking good, who's not looking good. But, yeah, that's basically... Oh, wait, I still need to go through the team update, don't I? Let's go through that really quick. Dacos, Stewart, Young, Buderick, Williams, Caulfield, Reid and Pink. Pretty generic backline. Except what I'm thinking of doing is going maybe a Dacos down to Houston and upgrading Wines in the midfield, and then maybe going a Fisher down to Fife. So let's say Dacos and Fisher, which are the picks I'm probably most worried about in my team. Dacos because of the McGuinness tag, and Fisher just because of injuries, and I don't know, just doesn't really look confirmed to be good this year. Yeah, they're probably the two I'm worrying about the most in my team. If they shit the bed, don't do that good, I can go Fisher down to Fife, a Dacos down to Houston, and then have a bunch of money to spend to upgrade Wines or something in the midfield if he doesn't do too well. So I've got a good backup kind of setup if it all goes wrong here in my Supercoach team. I've got a good plan B. So yeah, that's basically what's going on with my game plan. Midfield, Laird, Liberatore, Butters, Steele, Martin, and Wines, and McCurch and Sanders, of course, and everyone on the bench pretty generic. This is just like the basic midfield this year. Well, not the basic midfield, but I've gone for a few pods, like Libba, Laird is probably a pod this year, and Wines. But yeah, it's the basic setup. It's the basic structure of a midfield this year. Nothing really crazy to talk about it. Rux, don't have to talk about it much. I got rid of Sweet because I don't think he'll do too well, and I got Livingstone. Don't really need a loophole anymore. Sanders, Fisher, Harms, Billings, Reed, Sexton, Wilson, and Kynan Brown. So, oh yeah, Kynan Brown's another one who did well in his practice match. That's why I've got him here. 102k and had like 16 disposals and 2 goals, I think. So yeah, he looks really good, Kynan Brown. Like him. And yeah, that's basically it. So I've gone a bit potty in the midfield, but apart from that, it's basically a pretty basic team. So yeah, I'm really liking the look of it. I think it really looks good for the start of the season, and I haven't picked too many opening round players, so don't need to worry about the buys too much. But yeah, that's basically going to be it for the video today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. And my next video will probably be unpacking the what's it called, the Amy Community Series games, or whatever they call them now, just the practice matches that actually get televised and streamed on Fox, and like stats get canned and all that. So those ones will be a lot easier to go through and do all that. Whereas these match sims, I have to go and find my own data and do all that shit. But doesn't really matter. Can't wait for the footy season to start. Team looks really good, and thank you for watching.